Well, welcome to part 1 of 2 of our holiday gift guide.
Where we go over... What are we going over? I forgot.
Oh my god. We are going over 20 wonderful items that are going to be perfect gifts for any artist in your life. Or if you're an artist... Yeah. Or if you want to gift yourself some shit. Do you want to gift yourself some shit?
Yeah, everybody wants to gift themselves some shit. And this is real good recommendational shit.
Yes, we've recommended the fuck out of this. Took us so long, so it's now going to be 2 parts. So, you're about to listen to the first 10 wonderful items that you can add to your holiday shopping list this year. I hope you enjoy. Well, hello.
Hello, Kris. How are you this week?
It has been a very busy week.
Oh, good.
To work today. Like, we're recording on a Friday instead of a Saturday, which feels
really weird.
Really weird. Yeah. So, I had an actual day today.
Oh.
So, yeah, I had work, and work was really, really busy. And then corporate's coming in town next week, so that's going to be really, really busy. And
probably
just thinking about it, exhausting.
That. I was about to say a little bit weird, a little bit tiresome, but exhausting sounds like a much better word.
Yeah. It's like just, you know, he's like, you have things that you have to do. He's like, oh, I'm already tired.
My mental brainwaves can't keep up. Yep. Nope.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
And then you are abandoning your home next week, right?
I am. I'm so sad. We're putting it up to rent as we are transitioning overseas. So someone else will be living here, and we're going to keep it, so hopefully we come back. But if we're not, we're going to be selling it. But for now, it's just kind of like, oh no, half of my stuff is gone already, because they send, the way the military works is you get to pack quite a few bags and send them over before you actually get ready to leave. So that way those bags will be there when you arrive. So it's not like you're walking into an empty house and you have to do nothing, or you have nothing while your
that's nice.
Stuff is getting shipped over. Yeah, because our official movers come on Tuesday through Thursday. But our pre-bags took off the other day, and so thankfully we'll have a little bit of a household together. Like, I pack kitchen knives and, mixing bowls and a bunch of baby stuff, so I don't have to rebuy it once I get there, which is very nice. So
that's very thoughtful of the military.
I know. Because my other stuff, like the whole household goods, it takes 3 months for it to get there.
Jesus.
So I'm going to be living out of 6 suitcases, me, my husband, and a baby for the next month and a half to 3 months. So
that is stressful, because then you're looking at your house of what do I only need for a month and a half?
Oh no, girlfriend. I told my husband, I was like, if I need something and it's in the crates, I am buying it again. I do not care. So, and we are very I've moved every year since I've turned 18. So I'm used to moving, and I've always had a very pared down household. The only thing that I have that I probably shouldn't for how often I move is a bunch of books. So I went through those, and I donated, my family and I cleaned out all of our collective books that we've had since middle school. But I donated 2 boxes of books from my own stuff. And then my family donated 6. So I took those down to the library, which has, cool factoid, many libraries have turn in your books or give your books to the library. They give you a receipt that you can give to your taxes. But they'll use them in the library collections. And if they don't think that they can, they will sell them to library patrons for 25 cents each.
What a bargain.
Isn't that cool?
That's really cool. I did not know that. When I moved down here, I got rid of so much shit. So much shit.
It's stressful, because it's it's not just Marie Kondo it, will this bring me joy? It's I have so many good memories with this item. Do I want to part with it? I don't know. So.
Yeah. And it's what I found is that out of all the things that I've removed from my life, there's one item that I was oh, I shouldn't have gotten rid of that. And then everything else is like, yeah, you don't even care about it. I can't even think about it.
Can I ask what the one item was? Now I need to know.
It was a guitar. I had to sell it to make rent when I first moved down here, and I regret it. Like I know that I had to do it because I did have to make rent, and it was the only valuable thing that I didn't technically need, but it was a beautiful thing, and the fact that I had to get rid of it to make money was heart-wrenching. So, yeah. So I don't know. Maybe
I feel you.
Maybe one of these days I'll find it again, and then it'll be miracle. Because it's like not just the guitar. Like there's memories linked to that. So, yeah, that was
hard.
That was the pain.
Heartbreaking.
I think we need to change the subject because it's really hard for me.
Well, I feel like this is a good segue though into what we're going to talk about this week, which is things that you would gift an artist during, maybe the Christmas season, maybe a birthday, but generally while we're going into the Christmas season, things that we can gift those that we love that are artistically inclined.
Yes, our holiday gift guide.
Holiday gift guide.
Yeah, so I'm really excited because I'm gonna be honest, I kind of stole this platform or like this setup from Extra Pack of Peanuts. So it's like the two hosts on there have their own like top 5, top 10, whatever it is that they're talking about, and like going in blind. So I don't know what's on your list. You don't know what's on my list. I'm very curious to see what you think are good holiday gifts, and I wonder if like any of our stuff overlaps. So
I don't know. I was looking at my list and I was like, I wonder if Kris knows how I'm going to approach this.
It's like sticky notes, and that'll be great.
We're so different though. Like even our art processes, the way that we think about, visual things is so vastly different. I'm just excited. I'm just so excited that you picked this or that you stole this idea.
Oh, good.
It's great.
Oh, good. Because I didn't know how reluctant or if you were going to be reluctant about this. So I was like, I want to do this.
So Halloween might be my favorite holiday, but I will say Christmas, I do love the idea of giving of yourself and giving gifts to people. I think that it's a beautiful time of year as well. If the spirit is, shared amongst your community. If you're one of those, if you're in a Scrooge type village / town,
the Scrooge village of US of A. Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to have a bad time during Christmas, but for pretty much everyone else, I do think that there's a pressure that's involved that I don't think that's necessary. But if you can find a way to relieve that, I think that you do very well with the season because it does have this very generous spirit. So.
Yeah, I would say that before I moved down here, I was much more into the holiday season. It's really hard to be appreciative of winter holidays in Texas. So
I get that.
it's real fucked up to go to a house on Thanksgiving Day and it's like 70 degrees and you're sweating and it's like, this is goddamn bullshit. It's 1,000 degrees outside and we've got 2 turkeys in the oven. What the fuck? Yeah. Two of them.
Turkeys.
At least that's how my cousins do it. It's a lot.
Your cousins?
Yeah, I have some cousins down here.
Why 2 turkeys in the? I don't think I've ever had more than 1 turkey, but we do a turkey and a ham.
Yeah,
that's kind of our.
They do 3 turkeys: a normal roast turkey, a smoked turkey, and then a fried turkey. Yeah,
a fried.
Yeah,
a
deep fried turkey. Yeah, yeah. It is terrifying, but worth it. Definitely worth it.
Terrifying.
Yeah. So you said Halloween's your favorite holiday, and
of all of
and
them.
It was yesterday because it's November 1st as we're recording this.
It's so sad.
What?
It's so sad.
It was. Was it a sad Halloween for you?
Oh no! I had a great Halloween, but the fact is, it is now November 1st, and that hurts my soul.
I'm sorry. Did you dress up?
Because.
The baby?
Oh yeah, I was a scarecrow and my little jelly bean was a turtle.
What?
Turtle.
Do you take out like a 6-month-old to go trick-or-treating.
Oh, no. We handed out candy at our house, which I have never had trick-or-treaters until this year.
Really?
I was so excited. I buy candy every year. I make little gift bags that I fill, or goodie bags that I fill up. And I fill them half with fruit-flavored candy and half with chocolate, so that each one has something for everybody. And then for the people who don't like candy but still go trick-or-treating, I put some type of party favor that's Halloween-themed inside of it. So I put... those pencils that when they run out, you take off that segment and shove it in the back? I got those. And then bubbles with in shapes of cartoon characters for the goodie bags this year. So I handed out a bunch of those.
Shit.
Yeah, it was really fun.
You are nuts. I haven't had trick-or-treaters in probably 5 years. Like, anywhere I moved. Like, I live in an apartment, and... people say, like, oh, yeah, it's lame to go trick-or-treating in an apartment, which I disagree. That is so much room for opportunity.
That is so smart. There are, like, 4 people. As soon as you get up a flight of stairs, you're like, boom, 4 doors. Like, you didn't have to walk very far. It's fantastic. It's a great idea.
That was my mindset, but no one else apparently has that fucking mindset. Everyone else is looking for the mansions to get the full-size candy bars. I'm like... who gives a shit? That is a sunk cost time situation. No. So at least that's how I did trick-or-treating as a kid, is that we would go to apartment complexes and it would be awesome.
I agree with that. When Jellybean gets older, I keep calling him Jellybean because I saw a really cool costume on Instagram right before we started recording of a chick who dressed up as a bag of Jelly Bellies and she used balloons. It was super cool. And I was like, that's weird. But, So it's stuck in my head. So now I'm like, oh my God, jelly beans. But my son, in the future, when we go around to different neighborhoods, we're going to stick to whatever neighborhood we're living in. I'm going to take him to every house that has porch lights on. And I'm probably going to bring like a wine cooler in a cup. And I'm just going to like... scale it along with him, and I'm not going to let him deviate. I'm just going to be like, we're doing the whole freaking neighborhood, kid. Let's go. So
it has never occurred to me to do trick-or-treating as a drunk adult.
Oh, it would be so fun. And then you have like a little wagon for the kid if he gets tired. I feel like that's the way to do it. There were a couple that came by our house, and I was like, I see you, parents. I see you, and I love you. So... hey, I took inspiration this year from my neighbors. They're great. So I don't know. I have a really cool neighborhood. So a lot of kids ended up coming and getting the treats. And I dressed my house up. So everybody who came up was like, oh my God, I love your house. Thanks. So it was really fun. It's a good year. But now it's like 365 days until I get to have another one. And it makes me sad.
Yeah. I don't even know if they really do Halloween in Japan.
They do on base. And where we're going, people go all out. Because the holidays are kind of ritualistic over there. It's almost because you're so far away from your families that you form new bonds with people. So during holiday seasons, people go above and beyond to fill the void that family has left. So it's kind of a weird relationship.
Well, that's not heartbreaking at all. Okay.
Being a service member family is not easy. And I love when people say, when I tell people my husband's in the service, they're like, well, thank you for, giving up so much. I haven't had to because we haven't moved anywhere since we got married. So I'm where my family is, which is really nice. But I am one of the low few who have stayed and maintained where their family is. Most people leave immediately and go to different states and stuff. And they have to form new relationships with people there because you can't be flying back to your family, for every holiday unless you're independently wealthy. And most people who are in the service, newsflash, they're not. So, makes it a little bit more difficult. So when you see a service member or service member's family, be like, hey, thanks for your service, and thank you for your service. When you say comments like that, it really gets us in the heartstrings because we're like, thank you for acknowledging that we're all going through it. So it is very nice. It's very nice.
Well, that's nice. Well, thank you.
Oh, thanks, Chris. I appreciate you, Chris.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate me too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you just gave it to me. You handed it out like candy. So.
Am I pretty? Am I pretty?
Yeah, so gorgeous. Oh my god.
Cool. Thanks.
Yeah.
Even
Right.
with my hormonal breakouts and my eczema.
I mean, so we take you as you are.
Okay. All right. So we both have a list of 10 items.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. So do you want to do the first one or would you like me to?
I organized mine by cost. So.
Okay. I just made a list of 10. So.
Well, then I can mix them up.
You do it however you want because we're going to be taking turns anyways.
We're going to be taking what?
We're going to be taking turns. Like, I talk about an item and then you talk about an item.
All right. Well, then it doesn't matter. I'm going to start with item 1 of 10.
Okay.
So, the first item that I picked is one that I use all the freaking time. And I know that it's mostly for, a lot of my stuff is for traditional artists. So if someone in your family is working traditionally, i.e. pencil and paper, instead of digitally, this is something that I would recommend that you get them. And I'm sure you've used one, Kris. I hope you've used one. If not, I'm buying you one for Christmas. But it is an aqua pen by Pentel.
What is an aqua pen?
It is awesome. So what it is it's this like brush that is attached to an empty plastic vessel in the shape of a pen. And then you fill it with water. So you screw the tip off and then you fill it with water, screw it back on. And then as you apply pressure to the body of the pen, it disperses a little bit of water through the bristles and acts like a brush.
I feel like I've seen an Instagram ad for this.
I feel like you have as well. I've used them since we started college because they really helped with my sketching game. I didn't used to do sketchbooks. I always did like free paper and then would just draw whatever I wanted. I would tape it to my board. And I loved drawing with like sketch and wash pencils. So ones that are specialty and formatted for the use of a wet medium to be applied on top of it. And I would take this little Pentel brush with me everywhere. So I didn't have to carry around both a bunch of paintbrushes and a little container of water that got dirty. I didn't have to worry about that because the actual pen, when you're done with it, you can just wipe it on a paper towel and it's like you never used it. So you just get all of these turns again and again to shade different things. It's so cool. It's so great.
Does it have colors? Like
you can buy ones that have colors within the tip, or you can buy ones that come already filled with ink.
Okay.
And those are all different colors. But the ones that I buy and what I would recommend is just the aqua pens because you can buy watercolor pencils and then use these as well on top of them. And then it just dilutes them into looking like you use just watercolors in general. It's amazing.
Okay.
They're great. They're great.
Really cool. Well, maybe I should get those for Christmas. Oh no.
I can't believe you haven't used them. You're going to have to use them. So tell me your first item, Kris.
Okay, so this is something I went at least not just the supply route, but like knowledge route and just like resources in general. And I know you're going to laugh when I say this because we have been told this so many times, but I have a communication art subscription on here.
Okay, you're going to laugh because I have at least one magazine subscription on mine.
Fantastic. Okay. Then I feel less dorky. Okay.
But I don't have communication arts, so tell everybody what that is, and
okay,
that is important.
So it's a multimedia quarterly. It's not even a quarterly because it's 6 subscriptions a year. So and each subscription is like a different topic. So like they have their photography annual, design annual, advertising annual, interactive. For me, the one obviously I'm interested in is the illustration annual. It's so regardless of the subscription, like yes, you have each magazine that you get that has a specific like focus of the annual, but you still have like little bits of like other parts. So even if it's like the design annual and you're more of a photographer, there's still going to be photography in there. And I think you can still get a lot of inspiration from other forms of art. So like for me, I'll go through and it's like, okay, well, I know very little about interactive art, and so going through that, I'm like, okay, this is really interesting, I can apply that. And I specifically have on here the slightly more expensive subscription, which is I think $40 or $50. So if you just want like the actual paper subscriptions, it's $26 a year. I like the more expensive one because with that you get online access. So you get digital copies of everything, and then you're also getting like in-depth interviews of artists. So if there's like spotlights, you get all of that extra stuff. So I think for like $50 a year, that is a really awesome value. And then that's something where it's like every year you get it, it's like, oh yeah, I got this thing from a family. So I have that on there. Communications arts subscription. Yeah.
I agree. That's good.
Yeah, and I actually got my final one for the year because I asked for this for Christmas and my grandma got it for me. This is something that I just always have on there. Yeah, feels nice. Oh, and the other part is like it's super easy to gift because you can just buy it and then send the person email. So it's like a really good gift for people that you don't live near because you don't have to ship it or anything. You just
fill
that out.
Order and done.
Yeah, and you get like a cute little email like someone sent you an artistic gift. And you're like, aw, so nice. So very, very nice. So what is your number 2 item?
So I'm going to just piggyback off of you because that's what I had for magazine subscription. Well, I didn't have communication annual.
Okay.
Because I'm not smart and I forget that one exists. I don't know. But I went ahead and picked out 3 because I agree. Even if it's not your cup of tea per se, or it's not the way that you draw or the way that you create, it is so important to be infused in contemporary art culture. As you make things and as you produce things, you need to know what's going on around you in order to make relevant art, I believe. So, along with Kris. So, one of those things that, or one of those medias that is being produced right now, materials, are really, really great full-color magazines. And freaking Communications Arts is great at that because they give you all of these beautiful things in high-gloss imagery. And I think just 3 more that do the same thing are Juxtapose, High Fructose, and The Believer. And these guys are ranging in like $60 to $70 for 2 years. So they're kind of up there, but they are so worth it. They're relevant interviews with art makers, different industry professionals that are purchasing art, patrons, all sorts of things. There are galleries that are telling you about like who they're carrying at the time, so you know where to look for different artists and art influences. So it's really cool to kind of be shoved into that culture. It's really hard to not skip around in these because, magazines are more often than not, you flip through them or you course through them. But if you read every article and you just go from page 1 to page 40 every time, you get so much stuff that you wouldn't normally get from your Instagram feed, which is, catered to your relevancy, or your Facebook feed, which is everything that you probably don't want to see in an advertisement ever. So my Facebook's gotten real weird. So.
I have stopped going on Facebook. I haven't gotten rid of my Facebook, but I'm hardly ever on there, and the algorithms on there I'm not loving.
They're so bad.
It started doing this thing where it's like, hey, we noticed you haven't been photographed with a man for 8 years. Have you tried lesbian online dating? And it's like,
oh,
I mean,
you're like, okay,
that seems a little unfair.
It's like mean.
I feel like this is passive aggressive, and I don't appreciate it. Yeah,
it is a little bit.
Or
and the last, sorry.
Oh, I was actually going to say, like, I love that you said high fructose. I knew as soon as you said you had a subscription on here that you were going to say high fructose.
Yeah,
And
I feel like juxtapose and high fructose are a lot similar. I feel like they both have a similar vein that they narrate on, but the believer is more pervasive. He does mostly, I know that I say he, and it's a magazine, and I'm sure it doesn't have a pronoun, but whatever, we're
wow.
going to call it he.
Wow. Sexism. Way to keep women at the
Sorry.
20% in magazines.
Hey, I was about to call friction a she, so, give me a minute.
Okay, all
So
right.
the believer is more for writing and video and performance. Like, they go everywhere. And they do a lot of interviews, and they publish weird fiction, small stories, and stuff like that. But my favorite all time, and I would recommend it for anybody who does anything creative, not just draws and paints, but anybody who writes or makes music, I would recommend Friction Magazine. And they were small a couple years ago, but they're gaining in popularity. And they do a lot of very uncomfortable small stories, poems, and really interesting core belief type writing. And every single piece comes with an illustration that is paired with it. And they're gorgeous books. They are like full color tabletop books. They really don't charge very much for each of them. Let's see. How much did it say that one was? I get the 2-year subscription, but which is $60. But it's
that's really good.
They're so good. And the colors are holographic, so they're instantly eye-catching. They sell them at Barnes & Noble, which is how I came upon them to start with. You can also get Juxtapose, High Fructose, and The Believer also at Barnes & Noble. But Friction is one of those where I think about it all the time. When I read stories in it, they stick with me forever. It's one of those books that I just can't, or magazine subscriptions, whatever, that I just can't get over. I follow them on Instagram. They don't have a very good Instagram presence, so, they spend all their time on the actual books, but they're good.
Good for them for not living on social media.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what I'm gonna add to Chris's, because it's so true. If you're not infused in today's contemporary art making, you will not succeed. You cannot be a relic of the past and produce art that people want to have. So
yeah, and I think that it's good to know what's on trend, and I don't think you always have to make your art be it's on trend because that's what sells, like sex sells type thing, but it's still good to know you need a heartbeat on the environment that you're working within. Like, you got to figure out.
True.
And it's good inspiration. Like, that's the other thing. Yeah. And what I really liked, just going back to communications, is that they have a lot of artists on there who've worked with advertising agencies. So
yes,
or being a part of, I want to say like a guild because I'm a fantasy nerd, but like illustration houses.
There are illustrator guilds. You're right.
Yeah, and so you can kind of see. Yeah, it can be a kind of like low key job hunting opportunity as well. So yeah, or see like, oh, I didn't realize that was a magazine near me that takes editorial work. That's really awesome. So it's really good research, and it's easy on the eyes. So yeah, number 2 for you, magazine. Number 1 for me, magazines.
Yes.
Yep.
So what's your second one?
All right, my number 2 is actually really funny because actually the platform that I stole this from, Extra Pack of Peanuts, he has this on his travel gift guides, but it's for a completely different reason. So I have a Moleskine sketchbook on here.
Oh!
Yeah.
There you go.
Moleskine sketchbooks are my fucking life. They are kind of a dime a dozen. You can find them literally anywhere, and usually whatever store is selling sketchbooks, they have 1,000 different versions of Moleskine sketchbooks. So I am kind of lame. I just have like a normal black one that I get off of Amazon like once a year or so when I fill mine up. And they're really nice because like the moleskin, it's sturdy. It's not one of those sketchbooks where I have dropped water on them and they protect most of the pages and it looks nice and professional. So that way if you're ever out like cold calling or like talking to potential employers and you have your sketchbook and they want to see your sketchbook, I think this is a pretty professional sketchbook to hand them. And then also what's really awesome is that most of them have like a little folder file flap in the back. I don't know what you call that. So you have like the front and it's
pocket?
got... Yeah.
I was like, I don't feel like it's fancy.
It's got a fucking pocket. Oh my god. Again, it's been a long day, guys. It's been a long day.
I'm sorry. You're funny. I like you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's got a pocket in the back, which I love because I'll keep like a handful of postcards back there. I'll keep a handful of my business cards back there. If I'm networking, it's an easy place to keep all of that. If you're like sketching on like a ratty piece of paper and you want to keep it with the rest of your sketchbook, that's an awesome place to keep it. So, and then there's like a little tab bookmark, those cloth bookmarks, and like a rubber band thing to fold over it. It's like, so they're just amazing.
They are well engineered. There's a reason why they're everywhere. They're so popular. They're so nice. Quality.
Yeah. Yep. Not hard to find. I would say, like, as far as getting sketchbooks, Moleskine are probably a little bit more expensive. But even with that being said, I think the one that I got, which is like a typical 8x11 for like 200 pages, is like $25. So it's still, I think, a feasible price line if you're wanting to get a sketchbook for someone. And by the way, if you are not an artist and you're shopping for an artist and you're worried about, oh, well, what if they already have a sketchbook? Doesn't fucking matter.
Doesn't matter.
There's no such thing as too many sketchbooks. There was a time period where I got like 5 sketchbooks one year. I was like, great, I don't have to buy sketchbooks for 2 years. Wonderful. Yep. So, yeah, you can never go wrong with buying someone a sketchbook. Let me just make that clear. Yeah. So number 2, Moleskine sketchbook for old Kris over here.
I like it. And so my number 3 goes perfectly with Kris's Moleskine sketchbook.
This is lovely. Okay.
It's going to be a Tombow dual brush tip pen, preferably in a set. So these guys are generally anywhere from $7.99 to like $30, depending on what kind of set you get. Tombow is probably one of the leading manufacturers of lettering pens, contemporary lettering pens. And so they're really, really nice. There's one end of each brush, or one end of each pen that is a brush, and one that is like a felt tip Sharpie.
Okay.
So it's real nice because you get the 2 separate ways of making art and filling in areas and shading, and it simple, just take the cap off, stroke, 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 put it back on, flip it around, take the cap off, stroke, 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 and you're done. So it's obviously drawing takes a little bit more time than that, but you know what I mean.
Can you just draw me real quick? Can you just like do a quick sketch of me?
Yeah, I'm going to draw a circle. I'm going to put 2 dots and I'm going to hand you that and be like, those are your eyes.
Yeah. I'm not a monkey for your amusement. Yeah.
Nope. That's not what I do. Nope.
That's interesting. It's always interesting because, like, I don't know that I've ever paid too close attention with what you sketch with. So that's exciting.
I do sketch with quite a few things. A couple other ones are on my list, so I'll hold off.
Okay.
But the Tombow ones are really great. My sister uses them for her bullet journaling. And I laughed my face off because I was like, I've been using those to color for like ever. So She was just discovering them and was like, oh my god, I use Tombow dual brush tip pens. You should use these. And I was like, I have been. Good for you. See, sir? She does real good once she finds a product. She shares it with everybody. She's like, let me tell you how great this is. And so you can always rest assured you're going to get some quality advice or product from my sister.
And you probably already own it. What is the price point typically for these?
I think $7.99 to the 30. It depends. It's how big you want to go. So if they're just your artist pal and you want to get them something for Christmas, you can get them the little lettering set that comes with like a pen, a fine tip pen, an eraser, and then a shader. And sometimes some of them come with aqua pens as well. But those guys are going to be the $7.99. And then the sets of them that come in multicolors. So you can get ones that are like maybe 12 that are pastel-y, and then you can get another 12 that are prime or probably very bright and vibrant colors, and then you can get the set that has all of them. And then they have a sketch and wash set that's just a variety of grays. So it just kind of depends on who you're purchasing it for. If you're getting it for a family member that's just starting out, maybe get them all of them. But hey,
Go all out. And where can you get them?
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
They're also at Barnes & Noble. They're in almost every college store that I've personally been into, which is like 4. So that's not that many. But anyone that I've been into, it's in there. You can get them at any, Dick Blick sells them, I'm pretty sure, which is an art supply store online. Primarily Dick Blick art materials. They're really great. I know that our local hole-in-the-wall art shop has a whole end cap of them. So really, Michael's sells them. Everybody.
Nice. Very nice. Good number 3.
Okay, thank you.
So,
your turn.
I'm wondering if I should move, because I just wrote down things, so I'm wondering... no, I'm just going to go the order.
Just go, Kris.
I'm going to go in the order. Okay. So for me, I have on here, and this is kind of a cop-out, but it's tried and true, but a gift card. So...
there you go.
What? Okay. 1 second. Someone's at my door. Let's put a pause on this. Okay. We're back. So my number 3 is gift cards, and the reason why I have this on here, and I don't know if you've run into this, Kay, but there was a period in my life, mostly in high school, college area, where I was being given art supplies for stuff that I didn't particularly want. I'm very fickle. I'm very fickle about the paints that I use, the paper that I use, and all of that. So I never said oh yes, I need a set of oil paints for Christmas, because I didn't want a little starter kit, because I didn't need that. I was very specific on the inks and everything that I was using. So I was just get me a Michael's gift card or a Quality Art gift card. So there's a lot of different options. Michael's is always going to be easy. That's pretty much fucking everywhere. I don't know that I've been in
every city.
Yeah, I don't think there's...
Major city.
Yep, there's other art supply shops that I don't want to say their names on here for personal, moral reasons. And then there's, of course, your...
I'm sorry. Keep going.
Look, we all know which store I'm talking about, and
I don't. I'm super curious. Oh, yeah, no, yeah, I do. Yeah. Never mind. I acknowledge what you're wanting to say now. It took me so long.
Unbelievable, Michael K.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. Keep going.
But there's always a hole-in-the-wall art supply shop in Boise, if you're listening. Quality Art is... you say it's a hole in the wall, but it's a massive fucking warehouse of art supplies.
But it's not international. It's not even national. So that's kind of what I say.
No.
Our local art store.
Yeah.
Didn't say it was little.
That's true. It is not nationwide, but it's fucking massive, and it's amazing.
It is pretty good.
Yeah. In San Antonio, there's Azel Art. There's Artorama, which sounds like bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
But it's a really good supply store, so don't knock it till you
great.
walk in.
Its online presence is pretty good.
Okay.
So also, if you want to get it online, Artorama has a really, really great website.
Good to know. I've never looked at their website. I've always just gone in. But
see, there you go.
Yeah.
Supporting your local.
Support your local art supply store. Store, because I said sure. Side note.
I heard snore, but okay.
Okay, I would like to say on the Andy Warhol episode, I know that I said Eddie. I know that it's Freddie Mercury.
Oh,
I know
we're going
that.
back to this.
Look,
okay.
I just got so much heat for that. I know that it was Freddie. I have poor enunciation despite where I work. I should be better about it. I know. Okay. Yeah. So gift cards. That is the easy one. Also, it's like an easy price point. So if you're like, I want to spend $20, bam, $20, easy, put it towards whatever they want, and they don't have to do the uncomfortable thing of like, oh, I got Graham-Bacher oil paints and I'm really not into that brand. There's nothing wrong with that brand, by the way. It's just artists are fickle. So just be aware of that. So yeah, that's what I have on as my number 3.
I'm going to say that my number 4 is actually at the bottom of my list, but I'm going to run off of you. I put gift card to a framing shop.
Ooh!
Because if they want to be a professional artist, framing is huge. I've been on my soapbox about this. We're not going to do it again. We're just going to go ahead and let it lie, but I'm going to say framing is something that is so fucking expensive, and it just takes it out of you so badly, and it feels like it's unnecessary, but it is so necessary. So if you get an artist something like this, you take away so much stress from their next show. And it is very specific, so it's something that they obviously can't use right at the moment, or that maybe they do have a show coming up immediately, but generally it's something that is providing for their future that they can't deviate the amount from. So if you have a local framing shop that you've used or that someone in your family has used, I would highly recommend that you get a gift card to that location for your loved artist, because it's just one of those things that you kind of have to spend money on, but it just hurts to spend it. The results are great, but it just hurts.
Yeah, so. And I'm going to be honest, this feels a little pointed at me.
It's not at all. I was thinking about, this was at the bottom of my list, remember, that I did by expense. So
okay.
This one is the most expensive thing. Like, you cannot get them a gift card for $100. It will not work. Like, well, it will help, but it's not going to cover it. So something for a framing shop is you're looking at $200 to be effective. So like double it. And there you go. I think
surprised.
Our show, I spent $250 on framing. So it's just like, what you gonna do? It's a lot of money. It's a lot of expense that you turn out for one day, and then however long the show is up for. And then you're hopefully you sold the work. But if you didn't, now you have to preserve and take care of it in its new home. And it's just something that is, it's so expensive. It's so worth it, though. And all artists need to have finished work at some point that they can just turn around and put into a store. And it is really nice to have that cost taken care of, because after you're done producing work, you don't want to spend the time to frame it. You're kind of on a high because you finish the work, and it's finished in your mind-ish. And you really don't want to turn around and then have to do all the math and figure out, I'm going to frame it, and that's good. So you take away all of the pressures of framing it when you buy them a gift card to a framing shop. So it is expensive, but it is so worth it. So anyway, that was at the bottom of my list. So I'm glad that we both had gift cards, though. That makes me smile.
Yeah, okay. So maybe we aren't as off kilter from each other as we were worried about. I am worried, though, that you said that's like the bottom of your list because it's the most expensive, and that is not even touching my most expensive items. So
what? Okay, I'm interested. What's your next item, Kris?
Okay.
Tell me.
My next item is actually not, I mean, this can be expensive. This is totally another, like, you make the price point thing, but it's buying unique artwork. So a lot of artists, I think we all have like one or two pieces in our home that are ones that we've made. But for me personally, I love having other artists work in my home. Like, I don't go to Pier 1 or what's another place that sells like mass produced like artwork type thing.
I mean, Michael's does.
Yeah, Michael's does. And
who's the other one?
Cost Plus, I feel like, is another one. Which
Target does.
Target, yeah, stuff like that. And there's nothing wrong with it, but I think a lot of artists are not interested in like Target art. They want something that another artist made, because that's, you got to support each other, and I think that's a great way to do that, is buying each other's artwork. And there's so many places, like I have bought artwork for other friends while I was out traveling. When I was in Croatia, there was a dude who was painting little miniature watercolors of this old Roman palace that he was painting inside. He's like, yes, I come here and I do a watercolor painting of the palace every day. And I was like, this is awesome. And they were like $5 each. So I got a couple of them, gifted them, and people loved them. Yeah, there's always art in the park type situations where local artists are pulling up their booths. There's always First Fridays or First Thursdays or whatever fucking first day of the week art thing in your city you want to do. Every city has them at this point. Just depending on where you are. It's like, it's Third Mondays. Come down for art. So just art booths and supporting local artists. That way it's great. And that can range anywhere between, like the $5 of little watercolor paintings that I did, all the way up to galley work that can be in the thousands. So a lot of options there. And this might be a little bit harder to shop for style-wise for some people. So I would say, depending on how well you know someone, or if it's more like a souvenir thing, it is what it is. So I would say this is something you should generally be getting for people, but also be mindful of their style too. Don't just go to Art in the Park and be like, yep, this is a handmade mug, and the person's like, I don't drink hot drinks.
That's true. There's no, then a piece of an article of something that has to sit around your home and has absolutely nothing to do with your personal style. Like right now we live in Idaho right now, and soon we will live in Japan. But Andrew and I don't really have a faith per se. However, we have a giant wooden cross outside of our house that his uncle gave us. And there's a little armadillo on it in the state of Texas in sheet metal stapled to the middle.
What the fuck?
And we don't live in Texas, and we don't really go to church on Sundays, and there are no armadillos running around, but we have this item that sits outside our house. And actually, I don't think it was his uncle. I have no idea who gave us that. Someone in his family.
Holy shit. Can you send me a photo of this before it goes down?
I can indeed.
Yes. Show notes.
It's just, it's interesting. Yeah, show notes. It's just interesting. It's an interesting thing. And I smile every time I see it. So it does its job. But as a representation of what's inside of the home that it sits in front of, it is not. So, yeah. I'm with you.
So do that. And then I would say, like, if you do buy someone a print, frame it. Like, the worst thing as an artist to get a piece of art as a gift is then remember that you have to frame it.
Yep.
Unless you know they're fickle about framing. But again, like you can't really go wrong with a basic black or white frame, my opinion.
You're right.
So at least they don't have this piece of paper that they're like, all right, I was given an errand. So that tip as well. Okay, what's your number 5?
Okay, this is kind of down on my list as well, but because yours kind of piggybacks off it, I'm gonna go for it.
You're just piggybacking off of my shit.
You are so great. I feel like I should send you this list. I keep rearranging it because I feel like I was so good putting it by how expensive it was. But now that you've gone, I'm like, well, shoot, she said this and this pairs well with this, so I'm gonna say this, which is great. But the one of the things I put that has absolutely no grounds on the person who you're giving something to. It has everything to do with the spirit of the holiday. Buying their art as holiday gifts for others.
Aww.
I think that's huge. Aww. If you want to support anybody during the holiday season, support your local crafters and makers. And I feel like if you want to show that you love them and that you respect them and you honor what they are doing with their life, which is creation of visual method, purchase their work to give to other people. Once again, as Kris said, try to keep in mind that everybody has a unique style, so pick something that has something to do with them. So if you were to buy anything Halloween themed for me, I would die. It would be so great. It would be beautiful. I wouldn't even care what type of artistry it was, as long as it involves Frankenstein. You know what I mean?
Yes. I would say, like, piggybacking, this isn't officially on my list, but also making an artist a thing. Like, my favorite gift that I've ever been given is a floral china plate that has the word cunt in gilded gold.
Fantastic.
Yes, that my friend Jenny gave me for Christmas one year, and it sits on my bookshelf. It is my pride and glory. I love it. When my grandma came over, she went, "Oh, that's a beautiful plate." Oh, Kristen, there's a naughty word on here.
There's a naughty word.
Yeah.
I like that so much.
So, yeah, buying their art, giving them art you made. I think lovely. Lovely, lovely.
It is lovely.
Yeah, you continue your thing. You continue your number 5.
That was it. That was it.
Oh, that was it.
Art as holiday gifts. No, I think that's huge. Like, I've had multiple family members ask me to paint their families or other people's families for Christmas gifts. And stuff like that has been so, like, it's given me so much self-esteem, as well as making me feel personally involved in the holiday season. So I feel like when you do that for other artists who are personally making and can customize things like that for, your family for Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
By helping them and purchasing those. It's a great idea.
Yeah. Also, reach out to your local artists about wedding gifts. Like, if any time to make a customizable, self-indulgent piece of work, that's the fucking time to do it. Like, I don't think that I've bought genuinely a wedding gift for anyone in a while. It's been something that I've made that I've kind of known the couple well enough to figure out what they like. And as I'm saying that, I know that Will's in here, and I did do that for his wedding, and he said he liked it. I hope he actually did.
I'm sure he loved it.
Yeah. So, yeah, another opportunity for asking for gifts being made. Weddings. For fucking sure. Okay.
For sure. Okay, your next thing, Kris, go.
My number 5 can be pretty expensive. But it's one of those things that if you are an artist in the 21st century, you kind of have to know how to do this. If you're going to be in a commercial minefield, I think traditional art is fantastic. I love it. But it's also very hard to get out of a local non-gallery atmosphere with it. Mm-hmm. So I have on here a Wacom tablet.
There you go.
Yes. Wacom is the company, I would say, the gold standard of artist tablets. Don't confuse them with, like, iPads and whatever fucking non-iPads are called. I don't know.
Tablets.
Are they just called tablets? Shit.
They're just tablets.
Yeah. So this is specifically an artist tablet. You do not play solitaire on this. You don't play Candy Crush or take photos with it if you're a grandmother. Holy shit. Like, we've all seen it. We've all seen a grandma take a photo with an iPad.
My photo capabilities on my iPad are great, but I have the new one, so, of course they're going to
There's
juice out the camera, but,
But you look ridiculous. You look like a grandma.
You do. If you're out and about and you take a picture with a non-camera or actual professional camera, I'm just like, why?
Yep.
Why?
Yep.
But I have seen point and clicks. I have seen like a cool pics out in the wild recently, and I almost died laughing at that too. So
Jeez, man.
Yeah. Sorry, keep going.
Okay.
Continue with your tale.
Wacom tablets are artist tablets that you use to create digital art with. So it's usually some have screens on them, some don't. They all come with a pen of some sort that's designed to work with the tablet. It's pressure sensitive. There's a lot of options. So I would say if you are buying a tablet for a young artist that's just starting out, I think that the bamboo Wacoms, the little bamboo funds, are fantastic. They range anywhere between $60 to $100. So for a tablet, that's not a bad deal at all. I got my first Wacom tablet when I was 15 from my grandpa, and I used it into college. So I used it into the ground until I stopped. And when I say use it in the ground, I mean Wacom stopped updating the drivers. That's what happened. It was
it's true.
So old. You have the bamboos or the bamboo funds that are, I would say, the more pick up plug and play type of item, a little bit more affordable. Then you also have the Intos range, and they range in sizes. So whatever size you get, you're getting in relation, by the way, to the screen that you're working on. So if you're buying someone a Wacom Intos tablet for someone who's working on a 16-inch screen, you're probably going to do a small or a medium sized one. Don't get them the large one. It's not going to work the way you think it is. So
it's true.
Just be aware of that. I have the large Intos because I am working on a 27-inch iMac. So that works in relation to the screen size. It is the more expensive side, so the Intos ranges anywhere between $200 to $600. And then, of course, you have the Wacom Cintiq, which is basically what a lot of people consider the holy grail of illustration tablets, because the screen is the tablet. So it kind of looks like a fuck-ass huge iPad
computer that you can draw on. Yeah.
It's basically a computer plugged into your fucking computer. It's nuts. And those are, I would say, depending on which one you get, it's going to vary on price point. The Cintiqs are good if you, for a lot of people, they like that because they're not used to having the hand down here but looking up here to draw. If you've been working with tablets for a while since they came out, that's not really an issue. So again, that's price point, preference, artist. But honestly, if you are buying for an artist who has never owned a tablet, or their tablet's really old and whatever you get is going to be an upgrade, they're going to be happy with anything. No artist is going to be a dickhead to you because you got them a medium-sized Intos. They're not. So.
And what's nice about software today is no matter what you get them, they can find software online that's downloadable that matches what they got. So if you got them a really cheap tablet, they can download GIMP, and it's a free Photoshop, and they can learn their way about the software with their shitty little new tablet. That's still amazing, considering where they were before.
Yes, that is.
But in reference to the other ones, you don't have to get them the Holy Grail to begin with. Almost get them the smallest one, so that way, like Kris said, they can work their way up, because it doesn't work how you think it's gonna work.
Yeah. If you go all out, it's I bought you this massive Cintiq. I work on a little yoga laptop. It's gonna be weird. Maybe the Cintiq wouldn't be so bad because you're working on the screen, but I know that it wouldn't work with a large Intos, so be aware of that. And the other thing, a lot of them, there's downloadable software. I've never bought a Wacom that didn't come with a basics program. So I think my first one came with like a basics Corel Painter.
Mine didn't. Oh, back in the day. I think I used Microsoft Paint with my first one for a good probably 6 months before I was like, oh, I should probably upgrade software. Because I bought the little rinky-dink one when they didn't, I don't know. It was a while ago. I don't even know.
Well,
but
it works.
That's a really good item.
Yeah, I know. Thank you.
That's a good one. It's a good one. So this has been only 10 of our favorite items that we've kind of, been tried and true with. So we're really excited for the next 10 to add into our 20. Those will come out in another 2 weeks. So if you guys catch us then, I'm sure they'll come back, right, Kris? Maybe?
I hope so. I hope that guy from Italy comes back.
Me too.
Even if he doesn't have like a Black Friday. Does Italy have Black Friday? No, because they don't have Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Fucking.
I think that one might be a little bit out of their purview, but yes, definitely. Catch us in 2 weeks and we'll go over the next 10, and I feel like you'll have a complete, list to choose from for that loved artistic one in your life.
Yup, and let me tell you, the next 10 are soup's choiciest. A little expensive, though, but worth it.
There are some. I think I have some expensive ones.
I'm looking at...
We'll see.
Oh, yeah. I do have a cheap one.
She has
All
one.
All right. I have one. I'm a pricey gal. All right. Okay. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Would like to take a moment to thank our audio tech William Higginson for mastering this episode. A huge thank you to Joseph McDade for our podcast track, Drifting Corners. And thank you for having listened to another rousing podcast from Kris and Michael Kay. We were thankful to have you for another week, and if you hit that subscribe button, we'll catch you in another 2. If you have thoughts to share, you can email us at prismacasters@gmail.com. To follow our visual show notes, search out Prismacasters on Instagram. And to get general updates, view content, and otherwise just get our cosmic lowdown, visit our website at www.prismacast.com. Don't forget to both rate and review our burgeoning show wherever you found our podcast so others can find us. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.